In this particular set, our 2-3-1, we're going to start our first long dodge from this particular area, the top left quadrant of the field, which we've referred to or labeled as D. Now, to get your guys organized from the sidelines or from the personnel within, they can start off by calling motion D, motion Denver, some sort of word that may represent that particular quadrant on the field. That'll just get your guys organized as to the ball side, which as we draw a line down the middle of the field here, anything that's dodged from this side of the field is considered the ball side. Anything that's on the opposite side, the off-ball side, is considered the weak side. It also creates an opportunity to understand what your roles are off the ball. Knowing first and foremost that you're an off-ball personnel and that we're trying to create this particular space so that we can create a successful scoring opportunity. As we dodge down the side here with the player represented by the number 5, our off-ball personnel here at the attack, 3 players represented with 1, 2, and 3 are going to work with a pull string in a triangle. As the lefty wing, or the player represented with the puck number 2, cuts through, in essence, he's creating space for the ball carrier and pulling his defender through to avoid any type of slide. Based on that pull string, if 2, 3, and 1 were carrying that string attached to each other, he would pull number 1 out to be our adjacent help, and he would pull number 3 out to that back side of our offense or that weak side of our offense, which will attempt to create that weak side dodge. 4 and 6, they'll be working in pairs. Since the ball is already in number 5 stick, which is also a midfielder in their triangle, as we work in pairs, we would exchange our responsibilities. If you're working in threes, again, you're going to work in a triangle. Working in pairs, we would exchange our responsibilities. Again, same premise. You're going to try to create off-ball diversions, getting the defense to go away from where the ball carrier is, and create options. Create an option inside on the crease, create an adjacent option to his back left. As the ball carrier comes inside that restraining area, he's going to look to create his own shot, a shot with angle. That'll be option number 1. Option number 2 would to be look at the off-ball options available. Either 6, who's cutting down to the crease after the shallow cut with the midfielder represented by the number 4, or by the number 2, the attackman that just curled through and is looking to get to the backside of that offensive end right there. Nothing there on the initial shot or initial dodge, nothing there with the off-ball opportunities. Then we'll look to exchange the ball quickly to catch the defense on one side of the field or the ball side of the field so that we can attack the weak side or backside of this offense. He's got 2 options at this point, either to throw the ball down the side to the number 1, our attackman behind the goal, or back up top to number 4. If we move the ball forward through number 1, the key is to get the ball to the backside of the offense as quickly as possible. And this should take no more than 2 passes to transfer the ball to that backside. Number 1 will then transfer the ball back to number 3, represented in the quadrant back here in the back right, or A, and then we'll set up the third portion of our offense, which will be the quick dodge. Now in a quick dodge, it's usually about 7 to 12 yards away from the goal area. We're going to try to get on top of that goal area as quickly as possible, hence the name quick dodge. And by flushing the ball side here with 4 offensive players and 4 defensive players, we've created a 2-on-2 situation on the backside. As soon as number 3 catches the ball here, the attackman on the backside, we teach them to square up their shoulders like we did in previous DVDs 2 and 1. Catch the ball with your shoulders square to the goal and try to get on top of that defender as he's rushing out to play him as quickly as possible. If we can create a shot opportunity quickly, that finishes up our offense. Or number 4 on the backside is going to create an adjacent opportunity for us, an off-ball help for us, or an opportunity as a communicator to the ball carrier, either as he gets through or communicates that exchange if his defenseman slides. If none of those options are available to our attackman, as they weren't for number 5 here, our initial dodger or our long dodger, we would then move the ball up to number 4, and then what we do is reset back into our initial formation, covering our spots here so that each man represented our 2, 3, and 1. Now that we've reset the initial dodge, it's important to remember a couple different concepts. One, you want the ball to continue to stay in motion as you're in your reset. You don't want to allow the defense to get set. You want to continue to keep that ball moving so that not only your offense is in motion, but also that the defense is in motion. And 2, when you reset to the nearest location on the field, keeping the attack in their triangle down by the goal line and behind the goal line, and the midfielders up at the restraining line and above the restraining line, back into our 2-3-1 formation. It's not so important that everyone gets back to their original spots, which is rarely going to happen, as much as it's important to reset or reshape yourself back into that 2-3-1 so that when you get back into your initial dodge or your long dodge, that people are in an organized fashion where the responsibilities are drawn out like they were here when we had dodged from the top left spot of the offense. The X's and O's that we did on the board are an essential foundation to our motion offense, but the real work takes place here on the field. As we dodge down the side here with the player represented by the number 5, our off-ball personnel here at the attack, 3 players represented with 1, 2, and 3 are going to work with a pull string in a triangle. As the lefty wing, or the player represented with number 2, cuts through, in essence, he's creating space for the ball carrier and pulling his defender through to avoid any type of slide. Based on that pull string, if 2, 3, and 1 were carrying that string attached to each other, he would pull number 1 out to be our adjacent help, and he would pull number 3 out to that backside of our offense or that weak side of our offense, which will attempt to create that weak side dodge. 4 and 6, they'll be working in pairs. Since the ball is already in number 5 stick, which is also a midfielder in their triangle, as we work in pairs, we would exchange our responsibilities. If you're working in threes, again, you're going to work in a triangle. Working in pairs, we would exchange our responsibilities. Nothing there. Now dodge down the backside. Dodge down the backside. There you go. Get a shot.